It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, you're on you, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up his smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. Oh, he said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la, la 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 la. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, like you. And the manager, go on, give me a smile. She gives me a smile. Something like that. She always does like that. Cause she knows that it's me they've been coming to see. Just get that. She knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. The piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la, la 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 la, la la. Sing with me now. Sing us a song. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right.
They are. They're all queuing up. They're all sitting there. Yes, right. They're drinking them up. But can I just point out that I'm very sorry, Pi. I put the little turtle in the
turtle fell in the cup.
He fell in the cup. They're all very concerned about the turtle dying.
Don't fall in the cup. Sorry, it's a little thing I had to do. Anybody who reports me to the RSPC
T.
Yeah, we just balance him.
No, he won't balance.
He will
He'll fall off again. As soon as you
have
start
faith.
hitting the piano
Have a
slightly
little bit of
strongly.
faith. Look. That's the one D
Yeah.
that is out of tune. And I'm speaking to Les Sherlock, okay? Les and Moira Sherlock, you're out there, okay? And I know you are. And Les is a beautiful man, and we've had some great conversations. And Les tuned some of the great pianos of our time. And Alfred, now he's slipped my name. Slipped my mind. One of the greatest pianists of all time. Somebody he'll write in right now and remind me. And he tuned his pianos for 17 years. So when he hears that, one of the strings, there are 3 strings that you have to be in tune, and one has gone out. And so I've got the piano tuner coming this week. Socially distanced, do you understand? All right, now where were we? It's nice to see you all. And look, the weather. I mean, what can we say? Okay, what can we say? Okay, what are... Feels like a musical, doesn't it? The strangest word I ever heard, Maria. But it's not that one. Summertime, and the and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and my so good looking. So little baby, don't you cry. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mom is so good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings and you take to the sky. Until that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With your daddy and mama standing by. Oh, summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is oh so very, very high. Your dad is rich, and your mom is so good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-dum.
Yep, they like that.
And the
They like
crowd go.
Wild.
You're so. Do you know? Look, everybody.
It's very hard.
I try so hard with her. Okay, I say the crowd go, and she goes wild. She's a Surrey girl, really. If she was from up north, and we're going to give you all a chance
In a minute.
a bit later
in a minute.
on. What?
2 things.
What now?
Les says Brendel.
Brendel. That's it. Thank you.
And
thank you.
the
Thank
other
you,
thing
Liz.
is that the sharp-eyed amongst them have noticed your T-shirt.
Ah! You want to look at this? Sue found this one. I think somebody else showed it to me. Sent it to me. Here we go. And who's produced? It's
Fiona.
Fiona and John Dick, producers. And it says,
Never underestimate
an old man with a piano. That's quite fun. That's the size of square. It's a small T. It's on small size. So okay. Now I'm having a little drink here. Now all these shows. Can I say that people who are visiting us for the first time, and well done, over 11,500 views we had last week of last week's shows, right? Now that's not 11,500 people necessarily, it might be 10,500 people who watch it again, but what it now means is that you, the JV community, have managed to watch, and we totaled them all up this morning, 107,300 views since we started in the lockdown. Now that is you guys. That is you coming on, viewing my songs, viewing the evening, sharing it with your friends. Keep sharing it. Let's expand it. Let's not just leave it. I love to make it bigger. And people say, is it tiring? Any performance is tiring. I used to finish an opera and I was exhausted at the end of it. So that's the nature of it. I give 150% of whatever I've got, and I try to keep that going. Now, so therefore, just thank you for all your watching, all your views. Keep watching the week again. Let's keep the views up, and let's show the world there's a kind of a positive angle on this, because this week has been a really negative week for me. I have no idea what it's like for you. Please don't send me in loads of little epithets about how to do it. I've got all them. People have been very kind. But sometimes the days aren't good. Do you remember Jeff Lucas? He said last week, some days, not a few weeks ago, he said, it depends what time of day you ask me. And it wasn't a good week. But let's look ahead. Apparently from tomorrow, not midnight, from 12 o'clock midnight, you can go in the gardens from 12 o'clock midnight. So 11:52, you do not go into anybody else's garden. But the good news is there'll be 6 people that you can meet, right? Apart from yourself plus 4 others. Now think of that. The 7 dwarves have been told from Monday that they can meet up in groups of 6. One of them just isn't happy. And I like that. That was sent from Chris Chivers. And Chris, you were very bitter and twisted about the fact that I got your name wrong and I forgot the joke. And I got that, Chris. All right. Chris Chivers, that was your gag. All right. You sent that one in. The other one that I quite liked about this one was from Victoria. And she said, Boris is putting me under all kinds of pressure to find 6 people that I like by Monday. That one, I think, is just...
You're in trouble then.
I mean, I've got no one. And one other thing, which is the Isle of Wight. And the Isle of Wight, they've had this app, the track and trace thing, whatever it is. And they've had it for some time now. And apparently a friend of ours, Adrian Pinnock, who lives in Ventnor at St Catherine's. So a big shout out to everyone at St Catherine's and Ventnor. Hi Ventnor, we hope to visit you soon with 4 people that we don't like. We'll be there. And apparently this was reported in the oft quoted national magazine, the Isle of Wight News. A lot goes on in there. It does. No, I'm not laughing. I'm being serious. Right? It does. A lot happens. And apparently this woman was she said, it's just not working. It's just not working. I don't get it. I don't. Well, it suddenly told me that I've come into contact with somebody with corona. She said, he said, well, have you been here? She said, no. Well, I've been. She said, well, I've been to Marks and Spencer's, but they wouldn't have it, would they? Entertains me anyway. Right, now, what a difference one day makes. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where they used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Still, I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine. Oh, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment, oh please, that thrilling kiss is heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day makes, and the difference is you. Is you. My yesterday was blue, dear. Still I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights, they're through, dear. Since you said you were mine. Oh, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment, ah please, that thrilling kiss. Oh, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and the difference is you. Is you.
Very nice. Very
It's a
smooth.
bit kind of-
yeah, very smooth.
When love is love and everything is everything.
Can I just tell you, Rob Barron just said a very nice thing in the comments.
What did he say?
What a difference a Sunday evening in the Steinway Room makes with friends, or with friends makes.
Have you all said hello to each other?
They have.
Have they
They've
all
been chatting away? They've also been building on your Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs joke.
All right, go on, develop it.
So Snow White has gone to meet her 7 friends, but one's grumpy.
Hey, thank you very much. Any others?
Somebody else said only allowed to have 6 dwarfs, so you better not have Sneezy.
Sneezy.
And there's
Sit
also
down
another one. I
and
can't
keep your
remember.
mouth
I can't remember.
shut.
Gareth Hill did say come out with a good one as well, but I can't
Okay,
remember
well,
what that was now.
if you can find
I'll
Gareth
see if I
again.
can find it, yeah.
All right, okay. Now, there's a song I think we're doing.
Yes, we're doing this for a few people.
Bridge over troubled
Yes, so
waters.
this is for Chloe, and this is for Chris By and his lovely sister Sharon. Chris is back in hospital. He's a
Chris
friend.
was with me at university, back in the 1920s. And Chris has been very seriously ill over a period of years now, and his sister Sharon is one of these wonderful people. You know, you see people and you think, goodness, I would love to be like her. And I went up to the hospital in wherever, I can't remember where it is now.
It's around on the east side of London, isn't it?
And there was Sharon, and she was finishing work and going out every single day for weeks and months and years. She's been just looking after him. And for people like you, Sharon, if you're listening to this, we thank you, because nobody talks about you. Nobody even knows you're doing it apart from the nursing staff. But there's a wonderful thing your Father in heaven knows. Yeah. And it's a tricky thing for people who don't believe, but I believe that, actually. Those things done in secret, not with a big trumpet. I'm the kind of guy who does the big trumpeting stuff. Look what I'm doing. But this is stuff that really impresses me, because it's right from the heart, and she does it not for duty, but for love.
It's also for Teal and Jeff, and for anyone else actually who's been finding that this week's been a bit tough. You sometimes need to know that there is a bridge over troubled water.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. Oh. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time's come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. see how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind. Gosh, that's a big thing, that one.
And you do it so well, JB.
Thank you, Susan Ann.
Can I just say that when you started singing this, that I thought that this would be particularly appropriate for Claire, because there is a line about on the street. Now, those of you who've picked up would know that our lovely Claire, who does all our graphics and so on, managed to have an accident yesterday and came off her bike. But then Claire, her sense of humour is undented by this. She said, "If only I'd made it to the bridge rather than falling over my bike at the start of the bridge."
A nearer bridge over troubled water.
So poor old Claire came off her bike and hit her face on the curb, chipped her teeth, and had an evening at the hospital. But worst of all, it's her birthday today, so no birthday cake. But we can all sing "Happy Birthday" to Claire, can't we?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire. Happy birthday to you. And we big up our techie team. We're going to show you pictures of them, I think, next week.
Next week, pictures coming
up, because she's got a mask on and everything now. I think the Phantom of the Opera mask wasn't necessary. I thought that was over the top, but they were. Poor Claire. Saw her last night, and bless her. So we know you support the work that she's done. Over the weeks, we've seen the progression of this this tech team.
Yeah.
So that Rachel and Claire are in Barrow-in-Furness, right up in the northwest of England, okay? And they're operating this, helping to operate this with Sue at the computer here, and all the techie stuff. So we thank them from the top of our bottoms.
We do.
Now, I'm going to do this one. Now, this is
for the Goulding family.
Oh, yes, the Goulding family. Right, over in Happy Memories.
Yes, Happy Memories.
We didn't stay in their house, but we went for lunch.
We went for lunch with them.
With their house. Lovely big place in the country, beautiful place in Herefordshire, and some many happy times with their kids and indeed with them. And this one apparently you've been playing this album, All That Matters, as loud as you can in the house, and you asked for this, and it goes like this. This is the one that appeared a lot on telly. Here's life in all its mystery, the beauty and the tragedy, the silence and the symphony, and everything between. And deep inside the heart of man, the need to know and understand. Are we a part of some great plan, or just a passing dream? Philosophers philosophize, but rarely look you in the eyes. And politics is compromise that rides the ebb and flow. Money talks and fashion screams to fill the space inside your dreams. If you want something to believe, I'll tell you what I know. My Maker is my Savior, my Creator is also my friend, and to find Him and His favor is all that matters in the end. Spirit of the age decrees we may not speak in certainties, but that's what Jesus is to me, the bedrock of my soul, a Savior who can really save, a power stronger than the grave, the greatest gift I'll ever have, the deepest joy I know. My Maker is my Savior, my Creator. He's also my friend, and to find Him and His favor is all that matters. It's all that matters. It's all that matters in the end. A little bit of Debussy for those of you who kind of picked that up there, okay, at the end. That was for, and that's also for Rob Barron and
yes,
Di.
Yes, they do love that.
Who, you know, we remember them particularly, who joined us at such a difficult time. Sorry, somebody's...
Sorry,
right, thank you for... I'm using a very serious moment, and then you start laughing. It's just very difficult for me working in these conditions.
Get another
Call my agent!
Get another assistant. I don't think you'll get anyone as patient as me. What do you reckon, guys?
Oh, don't start. Oh, canvas opinion. That's what we want, isn't it?
I'm going to tell you there have been another couple of additions to the Snow White joke. There's obviously going to run around tonight. Gavin came back and said the 7 dwarfs are moving to Scotland. One is happy, but one is grumpy. And then someone else said, Dopey wouldn't make the list. He's not alert enough.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's
nice. It's quite nice. Nice to have a running gag.
Yeah, running gag. Okay, that's very good. Now, what was I going to say? A couple of adverts here. Okay. And one is for a podcast. Dave Cook, he recorded my very first album. I featured it with King of Kings, Majesty, God of Heaven, living in me. And Dave Cook produced that album way back in, 20 years ago now.
At least, yeah.
And that album did a huge amount for me with Peter Martin, executive producer, and so it was one of those albums. Anyway, Dave, in these lockdown times, is a very creative, imaginative guy, and he set up a podcast, and he's doing lots of really interesting interviews with people from the industry, the entertainment industry, and he did one with me, and it's going to be, is it going to come up on the screen here? It's Dave Cook and Tina Heath. Now, some of you may recognise Tina Heath from her days she was Blue Peter presenter, and they do a kind of a chit-chat thing, and in the particular day, it was with Dave. He did this discussion, it's called A Night at the Opera. I thought it was quite clever. And that's on Thursday. It will be a Thursday. Take this down, it's going to be up here, and you can go back and watch it again when you watch again. And that's something else. You can watch again at any point. People, if they miss this, it doesn't matter. They can watch it later.
And also, a few people have said, I'd love to share this with friends. If you look at the bottom of where you're watching now, there is a share arrow or a share button, and you can share the link. You can either copy the link and send it to someone in a WhatsApp or in an email. They do not need Facebook to be able to access it. So
They
if
do
you know
not.
someone, every week I put it into an email and I take it over to my mother, and she sits there and she watches the whole thing. She doesn't have a clue about Facebook, but she can sit and watch the concert. So that's another thing that you can do. Just the share button at the bottom will give you all the links.
Yeah, you can copy the link and then put it on
Yeah.
to people. Otherwise, or send them to us and we'll just copy it for them. Okay. This 6 years ago, I sung at a wedding of Ben and Claire Norman, and I think Andy and Jill are out there listening. They requested this,
They are.
and it's six years ago that we did this. Do you remember? How can this be 6 years ago?
6 years, is it?
Is it six?
It must be, I suppose, yeah.
And if you're there, Andy, just correct us if we're wrong. But I recorded it. They did this because I recorded this one of those albums that I did, one of the 13 albums that I've done. And this one was called Pilgrim, this album. And it was that old song by, what's his name? Irish composer. Come on. Van Morrison. Thank you. Van Morrison. How could you forget that one?
7 years, he says.
7 years. Oh, it's 7 years. Good.
7 years.
7 years. And and this is for them. A little bit truncated. We've got to get on to some more stuff. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Oh, the morning sun in all its glory meets the day with hope and comfort too. You fill my life with laughter, somehow you make it better, ease my troubles, that's what you do. There's a love that's divine, and it's yours, it's mine. Oh, like the sun at the end of the day, we must give thanks and pray to the one, to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Oh, there's love that's divine, and it's yours, it's mine. Oh, like the sun at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Gosh, it's been a long time. I think I did it once.
You
didn't
did
I,
that
before?
a couple of weeks ago, I think. Yes.
About 3 weeks ago.
I also want to dedicate that from Peter to
Peter
his
who?
wife Louise. Yes, not Louisa. Louise Day. So that's Peter Day wanted something for his very long-suffering wife. There's a lot of us about, and And he said, can you also mention the Worthing Silver Band and Aldwick Baptist Church near Bognor Regis? So we can, and we have.
We can, and we have, and there you go.
For all the wives that are putting up with husbands.
Yeah, could we move on from that? Thank you. So, people often, they say to them, one of the questions was, what's one of the favourite roles that you've got in all your years in opera? And I didn't think I would actually, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I didn't actually think I would go into opera. When I first started, I wanted to be a rock and roll singer and all that kind of stuff. And then somebody discovered this my singing teacher, who's getting gone now, bless her, and she discovered this voice when I was at university studying. And I've been inextricably linked with two composers, Verdi because of Falstaff, so Giuseppe Verdi, or otherwise translated as Joe Green, which makes it sound so much less sexy, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
So Joe Green. But Giuseppe Verdi and his last opera was Falstaff, which I became quite well associated with for doing over the years.
You had the physique for it, really, didn't you?
Do you know, it's the comedy that's going to kill people from you, isn't it? And if you want your own show, if it's the sous vide show with a little picture of me in the corner on the left-hand side. Okay, all right. Which you can do. We can get that going soon. But not this year. Not this lockdown.
Okay, all right then, the next one.
So,
so you for Falstaff.
Falstaff. And that's Verdi. And I became known for doing that, but I became known as a Mozartian, one of the composers that I suppose has moved me more than anything. And I still listen. I have them in my car. We were out dropping some stuff around. Who was it? To Evelyn. Evelyn today. So Evelyn, I hope you enjoy the books, and we dropped them around locally. That was a rare thing that we could do. And other people will get stuff sent immediately if you order them tonight. We'll get them out tomorrow morning, first thing. And we're dropping around, and I'm listening. What am I listening to? Mozart, and it's all the stuff that dum bum 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 beam dim bum beam bum 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 bum. I remember listening to Eine kleine Nachtmusik, a little bit of night music, way back. Ian, my music teacher, he played that to me, and it blew my mind. And I just thought, who has written this? And I was only a child. I thought, wow, fantastic. And then as I went on in my career, I got to more and more to do Mozart that I just loved. And of course, there's the so many piano concerti that I play through quite often. I'm just trying to relax. Just put another piano concerto. He wrote so many, I can't remember how many it is. Somebody write it and tell me. Les Sherlock will do it, I'm sure. So, but this one, of course, which is everybody knows, I've been trying to play. I do an accompanied version of this with an orchestra and everything else, but we can't do it for copyright reasons. And if you're out there and you're out, be outraged. We can do nothing on YouTube because of copyright reasons. They'll just block you. They'll stop you. They'll do anything. It doesn't matter what licenses you got. And so go and talk to them. Go and talk to YouTube and Facebook and everybody else about we get around it. We're legal, and we're totally legal of what we do, so that we decided not to go with YouTube. This we play, and I play in a concert, No, that's a very truncated version of the Mozart. That's the one. It's called Veira Madigan. It's been popularised in that way. But that. What else? Yes. And then there's just arias that over the years and operas that I've done. The Marriage of Figaro, the one that's that is my cue. That's the beginners. This is your beginners call for Act 1. Mr. Veira to the stage immediately, please. Mr. Veira to the stage immediately. Thank you. And that puts fear into anybody's heart. Remember singing at Covent Garden all around the world. It's one of the most sung roles I've done. La vendetta, oh la vendetta, è un piacer serbato ai saggi, è un piacer serbato ai saggi. L'obliarlo ante l'altraggi e bassezza e ognor viltà e bassezza e ognor viltà e ognor viltà con l'astuzia con l'arguzia con l'udizio col criterio si potrebbe con l'astuzia, con l'arguzia, col giudizio, col criterio si potrebbe il fato, il serio, il fato, il serio, il fato, il serio ma credete si farà ma credete si farà. Se tutte corse de dove se forse tutto l'ente de dove se leggere con il norma qualche gabulus ci troverà. Se tutte corse de dove se forse tutto l'ente de dove se leggere con il cose norma qualche gabulus ci troverà. Learn English with the ingenuity and with the acuity of the Lord. I'm happy to do it. I reckon I would tell some ambiguity. Where there's a will, there must be a way. With the ingenuity and with the acuity of the Lord, I'm happy to do it. If I cannot do some ambiguity, where there's a will, there must be a way. Where there's a will, there must be a way. And so it goes. And that I became quite well known for doing. You can see that on a BBC recording. Another opera, I did all of them, what are called the Da Ponte operas, that means Così fan tutte, Don Giovanni and The Marriage of Figaro. And I did those around the world as well, actually. Così, very difficult opera, it goes on for too long. And Don Giovanni, which became one that I did with Kiriti Kanua and then came to England to do it, to Glyndebourne. And it was one of my it's one of the most staggering operas ever, really frightening to step into the shoes of those that had gone before. And the aria that I sung, ironically, was associated with me when I was at university. The first Mozart aria I ever learned in English, and then I had to learn it when I got to postgraduate studies for Italian, and then, of course, I ended up doing it. And Sue saw me. Do you remember you saw me in a film with Kiriti Kanua, and what did you say? You said...
Well, that was our first date, if you remember. You weren't in the film.
No, I wasn't in the film. We went to see it.
You took our first date, very romantic, was that you took me to see
Don
Giovanni and Kiriti Kanua
in the filmed version, yes, very famous film version. And I joked at the time. I said, wouldn't it be great if I could do that part, Leporello, with Kiriti Kanua? And I ended up going to New Zealand and doing exactly that with Kiriti Kanua.
Many years later.
Dame Kiriti Kanua, many, many years later. Mm-hmm. And this was, I can't play the whole thing, it's too complicated. It literally, remember that it's an orchestra playing this, but it starts on, it's incredibly difficult. 6.5 minute aria, I'll just play a little section. Maramina, il catalogo è questo, delle meglie che muore il padron mio, un catalogo dagli che ho fatti io. Ho osservate, leggete con me, osservate, leggete con me. In Italia 640, 100 in Francia, Turchia 90, ma in Spagna son già 1.300. 1.300. So it goes on 6.5 minutes. Anyway, tell you a story. This is the story. And I've enjoyed probably performing Mozart probably just about as much. And I love listening to the overture, listening to the conductors conduct some of the most famous orchestras in the world, the side of the stage, listen to the overtures, listen to the wonderful playing of people like Anthony Pappano, the head of the Royal Opera. And anyway, this happened at Glyndebourne. So I'm doing the opera, and this is the first time I've done the in England. And so it's very important. We had all the press in, everybody was in, all the big press were in. And we'd done the first night, and it had gone quite well. And it was a conductor called Louis Longuet, who was a Frenchman. He was French. He's very good. Absolutely très bon. And I'm doing this big role, and it's really the second role, but there's Don Giovanni, the character, and then Leporello, his sidekick. And I have to do it. And this is called the catalogue aria, because I have to tell this particular woman that there's no way he's going to marry her. She wants to marry Don Giovanni. She says, no, he's had women everywhere, and he's a terrible man. You don't want to marry him. This is the worst thing. And in fact, ma in Spagna son già 1.300. It says that means but here in Spain, he's had 1,003 alone. It's that kind of guy. So he meets his end at the end. He meets the demise at the end. And anyway, so I'm performing this thing, and the stage is set at Glyndebourne, very famous opera house. And by that, I think we've had 1 night, 2 nights in, and it's night 3. It usually happens on night 3. And everybody's settled in, and I come on from the side of the stage, and there are screens facing, TV screens, all over the orchestra pit, facing, obviously, the stage, not the audience. So that the idea is you can pick up the conductor's beat without having to look at the conductor, otherwise it destroys the play. So you go past, and I don't have great eyesight, and I'm looking, and all you need to see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, whatever. So I'm looking, and I come on, and I do the little bit of speech beforehand, and it starts, which is really attacking, and you go straight in. Madamina, madam, let me draw your attention to this long list of names and addresses, a complete list of all his adventures. Here you are, come read. Anyway, do this. And I'm walking across the stage, and there's a French girl, Véronique Jean, her name was, Véronique Jean, and she turned out to be quite a famous singer in the end. And she's sitting up there, and she wasn't really looking, she was just ignoring me on this weird set that we had. And I looked down, and I looked across the TV, and I couldn't see anybody in the TV screen. I thought, oh, well, the TVs are out, or it's Channel 5, one or the other, I didn't know. So I'm walking across the stage, and starting to sing. And the mouth goes into automatic, the mind goes in automatic. And I got about 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the aria, and I looked down. For some reason, I thought I had to get a reference from the pit, and because there was a little pause. Mine Spagna, mine. And I looked down, only to see the conductor disappearing into the violas. I'm not joking, just falling forward. And they were playing, and they just dodged, moved slightly to the side, and let him through. This isn't a live performance. And I'm watching, I'm thinking, oh, no! Véronique sitting at the back there, completely doesn't know anything about this. The rest of the stage don't know, nobody knows about it. The audience don't even know about it, because it's in a sunken pit. I'm thinking, what do I do? What am I going to do? And so I carry on singing, carry on, until eventually I'm now concerned for the conductor. So I just went, and I'm in 17th century costume, okay? So I famously, and now it's reported, you can see it actually online. If you go online, you can see it reported in the Sun, the Telegraph, the Times, where it says famous baritone Jonathan Veira steps forward into the front of the stage and talks to the audience because the conductor collapsed. And I just eventually had to stop the orchestra. I just said, stop. And I said, I looked out to the audience and said, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you might have seen, the conductor has collapsed. And there was a, like this. And I said, and it's the words I've always wanted to utter in the theatre, is there a doctor in the house? And it being Glyndebourne, Glyndebourne, they said, no doctors, lots of accountants, as they were kind of offering to sort his pension out for him. Anyway, they brought the metal curtain down, and I just said, look, can we just, and they brought the curtain down, and I went round the side, and everybody was twittering, and they said, what happened? We thought you'd finally lost it, was what the stage manager said. When we saw it, because they could see me on the TV screens, walking forward right out of character. They thought we'd finally lost it. So I went round to and what happened, he'd had a collapse. He'd been treated, I think, for cancer sometime before. And he was exhausted, and he just collapsed through exhaustion. So I'm sitting in his dressing room, and I'm relaying the story, and he's lying on his couch. He's got a couch in the room. And he's lying there, he's going, Jonathan, what happened? What happened? His eyes are firmly closed. I said, well, Louis, the thing is, I don't know why I'm speaking to you in a French accent, but, I said, look, Louis, you collapsed. I said, and I was doing the section, and just before the second section, I said, you had collapsed into the violas. And he said, so they're right. It's another story. And he said, no, he did. So I said, okay. And he said, and this is the words, he said, so Jonathan, tell me, how long did you carry on without me? And I went, well, I suppose about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And he sprung up and he went, without me? And we had to go back on the stage and start the scene from the beginning. The audience thought this was the best thing that had ever happened. You love a crisis, don't you? You just love it when things go dreadfully wrong. Anyway, so that was my story about, what's the time?
It's 5:02.
5:02.
Want to do the stars?
Yeah, can we, now, I'm going to just have a little, I'm going to have 2 minutes. I'm going to let you see a little song that every now and then we're going to be including clips from my videos and things that are for sale. And this one, which actually we did some years ago in a church in Eastbourne. We filmed this with my band, with my boys that you've been seeing here.
Yes, they've all been commenting on that.
Have you seen that? That was
all the boys. They asked if it was
now that one, Matt, Dan, and Nick, and the song was "If you're black or if you're white or if you're in between, God loves you. If you're tall or if you're short or if you're fat or lean, God loves you. He loves you when you're happy. He loves you when you're sad. He loves you when you're very good or even when you're bad. So no matter what you look like, no matter what you do, God loves you. Oh, hallelujah. God loves you. Oh, sock it to ya. That's what Matt was doing there. God loves you. A doobie doobie doo-wah, doo-wah. And that's what they do when they were that little. Okay,
No,
can you see me with a black beard?
And then below,
that
when you were
was
doing a concert together.
Concert we were doing in the south. I think it was in Claygate.
It was in Pete Meadows' church.
Pete Meadows'
who was on
church.
the other week.
And that was a few years ago. So these are all. This is becoming like a kind of a boys' gallery. It's great. So what am I doing?
You're introducing
stars. So have a look. Just see what you think of this.
There, out in the darkness, a fugitive running, fallen from grace, fallen from grace. God be my witness, I never shall yield till we come face to face. Till we come face to face. You know knows his way in the dark. Mine is the way of the Lord, and those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, the flame, the sword, star in their multitudes, scarce to be counted, filling the darkness with order and light. You are the sentinels, silent and sure, keeping watch in the night, keeping watch in the night. You know your place in the sky, you know your place and your aim, and each in your season returns and returns, and is always the same. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, they fall in flame. And so it hath been, and so it is written on the doorway to paradise. And those who falter and those who fall must pay the price. Lord, let me find him, that I may see him safe behind bars. I will never rest till then. This I swear, this I swear by the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, the band.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that. That was with my boys in the band and Mark Edwards and Raul D'Oliveira playing when we were on tour, which you can have at a later date in your church, actually. And one of the things I'd like to discuss is the idea of putting on some post-lockdown concerts. We've got that many hits. I would love to put on three or four different concerts.
Three.
At least.
Around the country, I think.
Around the country, and we put them on. Then you all come from wherever you are situated, and I'm going to do that in a second. In fact, just before Rachel, if Rachel, you can just for 2 minutes. What I'm going to ask everybody out there to do, this is concentrated, and I need you to do it. All right, then Sue can, whilst there's an interview, she can collate this. I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to do a little bit of doobie-doo music, but I'm going to ask you to tell us, because we want a real picture. Some people tell us where they are. I just want a one word, not an explanation, one word only, place name of where you are going. Now, are you ready? And do it now. Are you writing? Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I-dum, ba-dum, a beep, bum, 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 ba-dum, da-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-da-da-dee-da, ba-dum, ba-dee-ba, ba-dum, ba-dim, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Keep writing in. That's great. Just tell us where you're from, because what we're going to do is we're going to get a great big map of Great Britain and around the world. And if you're from listening around the world, in South Africa, in Tanzania, Uganda, in Denmark, in Sweden, in Norway, and I know all these people are listening. We want to have an idea of where this show has got to, okay? And so give us some geographical sense. Okay, well, here we go. I'm just going to be phoning Rachel King now. Now, Rachel, I'm going to ring her first, and then we can talk about it in a second. Rachel goes way back to when these boys were young. I think it's Daniel's actually 29 now. And hello. Here is Rachel King. How are you, Rachel?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to hear you. Nice to have you on the show. And we welcome all the lovely JV community. Welcome you. And your mother was the first point of contact, actually. We used to know your mum very well back in the day when she used to when you all lived in Guildford. Is that right?
Yeah.
And in fact, you were about Dan's age, weren't you? You're 29, I think is that right? 29.
Yes, 29 this year. Yeah, same age as Daniel.
Gosh, I remember that. I remember that age, Rachel. I do. I was, in fact, I was 27 when I came here. Yeah, when we had Matt. So that goes to show that was, in the 30s. I knew you quite well when you were in the 30s. And you were a lovely wee girl. You were indeed. And you've grown into a lovely woman. Your mum gave me the heads up about you. So tell us.
Shout out to Lindy.
Sound out to Linda King. Give her a big kiss. You've raised a good one there. And we chatted a lot, Linda, about you and about you, her daughter Rachel. And she said, look, she's doing some really fantastic things. Tell us a bit what you've been doing in the last few years. What have you lit this set up to now? Tell us.
Well, so I have spent many years working in a residential children's home for looked after children. And through that, I came across play therapy, which is a sort of therapy just used for children because they can play and make sense of their traumas and experiences they've had. And so I made the decision to quit my job and return to uni. So that was a couple of years ago. I'm just approaching the end of my master's degree.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Although, don't know, now it's all messed up because of the virus. Don't get me started. But hopefully I will very soon be qualified as a play therapist and can go on to work with young people who need that support because they've had some very difficult experiences.
What draws you to those kind of people, Rachel? What makes you feel that way about them?
I mean, I've always, as soon as I was old enough to be able to look after somebody younger than myself, I've always been drawn somehow to the children who stand out and have had nobody, or, when back going many years, I was a teaching assistant and the naughty kid in class or whatever was always just gravitated towards me. I don't know what that says about me, but I've always just had a knack, I guess, for helping children that need it. And, I have that patience and understanding that a lot of people don't have. People say to me, I don't know how you can work with children that have the behaviours that they do, but that's my thing. I might not be good at much, but that is my thing. Well,
thank
goodness, I just love it.
Thank goodness that you do, because you're doing it on our behalf. I mean, often I think we have social worker friends, and you feel that often people are left out. They don't want to know. It's a bit like we visit prisons. People don't particularly want to know. They know that somebody does it, all right, but they don't particularly want to get involved themselves because it's often people don't have that skill set. And often they don't necessarily get drawn towards it like you have been. But you do have you would agree you have a compassionate side, a very big compassionate side.
Definitely. I just, and just my heart goes out to them. Yes, they have some quite extreme behaviours, these children, but when you just know what they've been through, you just think, it's just really sad a lot of the time. And just anything, the thought that I could make a difference and hopefully help them make sense of it and go on to be able to hopefully leave it behind and provide them with a happy childhood and hopefully adult life. That's such a responsibility, but I'm so happy to do that.
And you're
for them.
You're really up for it, aren't you? You are really up for this. I can tell.
I do. I'm so. Don't get me on the play therapy bandwagon. It's just kind of really becoming a known thing, and it is just so brilliant and can support such a number of, not just kind of looked after children, but children who've been hospitalised and anything that they have that they might need to wrap their head around. It's just great. I'll get up on my soapbox in a minute.
Yeah, I don't mind soapboxing. That's good. Soapboxing is good. And I one of the things I love is young people with verve, with a bit of something about them to go out and have ideals. I think what I'm always sad is when you ask young people, well, I don't know, I just want to get a job and go out on a Friday night and live my life and just leave me alone. And actually what I love is people like you, and that's why I've got you on. Last week we had somebody talking about older people, and I thought actually your mum had mentioned about this, and I thought what a fantastic thing. She said the words, and it's very interesting, do I have just ordinary people on? And I thought, what does that mean? You are quite extraordinary because you do something very, very extraordinary, and we thank you for that. So I think you do an extraordinary job. Do you think you're extraordinary?
Well, thanks very much.
Sue says she thinks you're extraordinary. Look, I'm going to sing. Stay with us. Stay with us. I'm just going to sing a song. We always sing at this stage. We always sing a song which, when you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand. And it's one that everybody out there, the people that are listening, they're old people, all of them. Look, aren't you? They are. They're all nodding. All of them. All 11,000 of them right now are nodding. They're old people. But they know this song. And it was a song that was big. Carole King used to sing it. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest nights. You just call up my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you
and desert you
and take your soul if you let them. Sing it, Sue.
but don't you let them.
You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend, oh darling, you've got a friend, my sweet darling, you've got a friend, you've got a friend. Now, Rachel, that kind of song, you've got a friend when you're down and troubled, but you're more than a friend, aren't you? You're not just going in there and playing a bit. You're actually going towards working with them to repair, well, hopefully, some of the damage that's been done. Would that be right?
Yes, yeah. So just helping them make sense of it, come to their own understanding of it, and hopefully, if it is a case that, as quite often is, difficult behaviour is involved, that they can find coping mechanisms and strategies within their therapy that they can take outside and apply in their life, that will obviously see them as they grow up and hopefully enable them to have
functioning relationships.
Functioning relationships and a life that doesn't just end in the way that a lot of often it can do for children that get that kind of start in life. So it's just anything to help put them,
change
give them
I suppose, would it
opportunity.
be change the story, change the narrative, change the narrative of their lives. Let me just we've got to move on, but it's very interesting because play therapy, it is something I don't know much about. I've heard about, not really read that much about, but I'm sure people out there are going to be and very impressed with what you're doing. But the reason I've got you on here is not because you've done a master's in play therapy. It's because you are about to do something to benefit a charity. What is that charity, first of all, so that we know what it is?
That charity is Young Minds.
Does it come up? Yes. Here it is.
Oh.
Young Minds. Yeah, excellent. Young Minds.
There it
Is it a young charity? Is it a fairly young charity? It's quite.
Yeah. So it's fairly recent, and it's a mental health charity that specifically supports young people.
Yes.
So it works directly with young people, kind of secondary school age.
Yes.
Young teenagers. But it also offers support and advice to parents of younger children as well, who, lots of parents and carers contact them for advice and support, when they're distressed on behalf of a young person, or they do loads of outreach work specifically with young people who reach out to them when they're struggling.
And the charity itself, I've worked with a lot of big charities. We at the moment, when we're doing these evenings, we're doing smaller charities, as you know. We're doing charities that we can make a bite-sized amount makes a big difference to their practice. So what we're trying to do is the generosity of you people out there has been absolutely magnificent, and I'm just going to call that out right now and say it's a phenomenal amount of money that you've given away to great causes. And I want you to, again, to go into your pocket. Even if there are 10,000 people watching, even if you only gave £1 each, all right? £1 each. Now, when we do that about, giving to us as a £1 each, We're not asking for millions. If you happen to have millions that can help the charity, then I'm not sure they're going to say no. But we are doing something to try and raise awareness. And are you climbing? You're climbing Everest. No, not Everest. You're climbing. You're climbing Ben Nevis, aren't you? Is it
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro, right. Now, the 4th highest mountain in the world, but the highest single freestanding mountain in the world.
It is.
What are you thinking of?
I know, from base to summit, it's the tallest freestanding mountain. Everest doesn't count, 'cause it's part of a mountain range. Doesn't count.
Oh, all right. We'll try that. That's next time.
Yeah.
So you're going to go, and what is it? We've got, to frighten everybody, it's 5,895 metres above sea level and about 4,900 metres above its plateau base. So, I mean, what is the actual climb? It's about 19,000, isn't it, from my memory?
Yeah, just less than 20,000 feet to the summit.
Now,
just less.
Can I say, we went out for a walk this afternoon, and I had a little incline, and I got to the top. I thought, whoa, that's me done. Here, where's the oxygen? I asked her if the oxygen, she brought it with her. Are you? Tell me how you're feeling about it.
Well, so I mean, it kind of started. My partner Toby is the one who came across the opportunity to do this because he loves things like this, and I kind of invited myself along. Sorry, Toby, because immediately I thought there's no way I could do that, but actually that is then part of the reason that I wanted to try and fingers crossed succeed, because although I'm quite outgoing and I'm quite confident, I actually have a lot of self-doubt when it comes to a lot of things.
Yes.
And my first thoughts were, I'm not strong enough, I'm not fit enough, what about the oxygen, what about this, that, the other. I'm a bit of a worrier, not gonna lie, but actually to sign up to this and to think I can do this, I am capable. Many people do, although it's a very large mountain, it is the climbable mountain. Lots of people can achieve it. And actually coming to the end, like I say, coming to the end of this master's degree, it's been such a cognitive and emotional challenge that this is kind of the physical manifestation of the mountain I've already climbed.
Yes.
There's nothing like a therapeutic training program to put you through your places. I tell you that the amount of, am I good enough and can I do this?
Yes.
And so that's going to extend to this. And that's kind of why the Young Minds charity is linked into it, because when I feel like, I can't take another step and I want to give up and, just after 6 days of walking, that's how these young people feel in their life, that they can't go on, they just want to give up. It's too hard. And, knowing that will make me take another step and make it to the summit.
Rachel, you are an absolute inspiration. I mean, I really mean this. I think you are a phenomenal person. You were really nervous about coming on here. You shone like a star. People will be really inspired by you deciding to do this at your age. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. I looked at mountain climbing. I have a friend who was a serious walker, and he wanted me to go and Kilimanjaro with him. And I thought, I'll get carried by Sherpas, yes, but I am not walking it. But Sue, actually, interesting. Whilst you've been talking, she said she'd like to join you. So I can. Would that be okay? You can't wear those shoes, though.
Bring her along.
I'll go along. You can do this on your own. Is that all right?
We're going to... Well, listen, this is a great thing you're doing. What we want to do is we're going to ask people if they can contribute to you, to this charity. And you working... Are you going to be sponsored for this?
What do you mean?
Will you get sponsorship? Will get people give you... if you climb... to the top, will you get your mother and father and friends and people to pay you 200 quid each and that kind of thing? Or is that
I'm fundraising, and hopefully my mum and dad and my friends will sponsor me, but all the money, is going to the charity.
It's going to the charity. I'm saying that we will want people want to sponsor you, as well as add to this charity now, so to help people right now. Look,
Oh, yeah.
Rachel, you've been absolutely brilliant. I've got to end it. It's 25 past.
No, thank you so much, just for the opportunity to raise awareness for the charity as well. And like I say, especially just at the moment with the lockdown, they're working overtime to reach children that are isolated at home, and so all the money that can go to them, now is making such a difference. So just thank you for the chance to talk about it.
Well, I tell you what, we will find out from you. When are you going? When are you planning to go with lockdown as it is?
Well, yeah, so this is the thing. It was meant to be this September, just a few months' time, but it is probably going to be postponed to next year now.
Right.
Boo. But like I say, the money goes straight away. It doesn't have to wait for the event to happen. So...
But we love your spirit. We love your enthusiasm, your passion. That's what we get people on here to talk about, their passion. And we're thrilled to have had you on. And we'll find out more about what goes on. Rachel, you're an absolute treasure. God bless you. And well done, Brian and Linda, for bringing up such a lovely kid. Well done. See you, kid. Bye-bye. Well, isn't that... I love that. I love young people. Just saying we're going to do something. I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise. Times when we don't know, let this be our prayer. When we lose our way, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray we'll find your light and hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer. When shadows fill our day, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching for the sky. We ask that life be kind, watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be just like every child needs to find a place. And that was great. Thank you, Rachel, for being such an inspiration to us. Now, there's a song I want to do for Lucas, I believe. And
Lucas was playing along.
was it? Were
Yes,
you playing?
when we were singing, he was playing along on his
bless
bass.
you,
so
Lucas. Now, Lucas is in
He's in Melbourne.
Melbourne,
So
right?
he's got up very early this morning to join us.
It was at 5:30,
So,
and
hi,
you were there
Lucas.
last week, and I. This song, it just reminds me, I've never done it before. This is the arrangement I'm doing literally on the spot. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun and his jealous skies as we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. I never made promises lightly. There have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun and his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. Oh, I love a ballad.
I do too. And I think what I'm really loving about these evenings is that they're giving Jonathan an opportunity to do songs that he just hasn't ever done before. And so thank you very much for allowing him that opportunity.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
There's one I'd like to do, which is, it's also in B flat. Lots of songs which are good for baritones, you see. B flat is, and this one, I Am the Sparrow, is for particularly.
This is for, particularly for Sue Marsh. She requested it.
Yeah.
But also, Karen, you and I were chatting, Karen Spicer and I were chatting earlier on. And Karen, you've had a really tough day today. And I just want to dedicate this one to you, that God's got his eye on you. He knows what you're going through, and he's with you.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on that little sparrow, and I know he watches. I know he watches. Yes, I know he watches you and me. Oh, love that will not let me go, I rest my weary soul in thee. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thine ocean depths flow may reach a fool be. May rich a fool be. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that will not let me go. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that never lets me go. Oh, joy that seeketh kiss me through pain. I cannot close my heart to thee. I trace the rainbow through the rain and feel the promise is not vain, that morn shall tearless be, that morn shall tearless be. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that will not let me go. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that never lets me go. O cross that liftest up my head, I dare not ask to fly from thee. I lay in dust life's glory dead, and from the ground that blossoms red, life that shall endless be, life that shall endless be. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that will not let me go. Oh, perfect love, unchanging love, oh, love that never lets me go. Oh, Lord, that never lets me go. Now, who was that for, Susan?
That was for Joe and Martin and Maggie Rose, I think is the baby. And I think Maggie Rose must be our youngest fan. But we wanted that one particularly for you because we know that, Joe, you sing that a lot. So that was for you. But also for Alan and for Jeanette and everyone, all our friends up in Lancaster. You asked for it last week. We couldn't do it last week. But
And
we'll do it
for our friends in Scotland, for Debbie, for Ian, for Liz and John up in West Kilbride.
Yeah.
And our friend, their son Neil, if he's listening as well.
And Julia down in Oxford.
Now, there is...
Okay. For Sally Windsor, she was singing it in the kitchen, and she's a real supporter, a real friend, and I think she has all of JV's stuff.
Now, I've never done this one before, Sue, and I'm just going to do a verse and a chorus of this one, and it was from John Brown. He asked for this, and for some reason, I've never known it, John. I've never come across it, and it's an old spiritual. Paul Robeson sung it, and it's quite a difficult song to sing, but I'm just going to give it a little taste of it. There is a balm in the vineyard to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain. But then the Holy Spirit, river
my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sun-sick soul.
Never came across that one. Next week, I will do... there's a lady who's asked for Empty Page from Paul Field. I recorded it on an album. I don't have time. I've got 15 minutes, haven't I? Yeah, and I've...
Yes, Margaret, I know you wanted him to do it tonight, but it will definitely be in next week.
Were you desperate?
No, I'm sure that Margaret's...
I'm
Okay.
nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say, but sometimes still I doubt you along the way. I'm nothing without you, an eagle without wings. If I forget about you, I lose everything. Oh, my heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to color in your love. It's such a funny feeling to be misunderstood, but from you there's no concealing. You know my bad and good, so I'm not pretending that my story never fails, but I've already read the ending, and your love prevails. Oh, my heart's an empty stage. Let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to color in your love. There's a little section I missed out there for time's sake. Sue, talk to us.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone yet again for joining us. It's been lovely to have you
We
in our
hope you've
home
enjoyed
with us.
it.
We hope you did. Well, actually, I know that you've enjoyed it because I've been able to see your comments. Jonathan doesn't get to see all this until we finish. So he will be thrilled to know that you've had another great evening and lots of tears and lots of laughter.
Questions?
And so on.
How many have we got? Places? Did people write in?
Oh yes, too many to go into.
Oh, right.
I'll have to do a big map now.
Is it? But
if
it's
I
huge,
read that
isn't it?
out, I'd use up all my time, so I'm not going to do that.
Brilliant. We'll let you know next week. We'll give you
we'll do a map for next week.
map for next week.
No, that was brilliant. So thank you for doing that. So I just want to talk a little bit about the merchandise that we have available. Some people have been buying them for friends, which is great because we can post them out. Anyway, you just tell us where you want them to go and that will be fine. So, Jonathan, what have you got there that you want to show us?
I do want to, and I think actually it's important that a lot of people are joining us new, and even
Yes,
those who haven't.
Absolutely.
We sell these because this is our living, this is what we do, and you've been very generous in giving, and we'd love you to, if you feel you can give to us, this is our living now, this is what we do, okay, so you can give by donation to...
I was coming to
You come to that, okay,
I was
right,
coming to
all
that.
right.
And just
All right.
show the books, all
All
right?
right, these two books here, and they come together, two for £16. It's Finding My Voice, that's autobiographical, and this one, which is, again, on a similar note, very similar ideas, talks about my stories from the opera, one of the stories
And
that I
they are
told
very
is in there.
funny. They're not heavy,
not heavy
difficult
at all.
reads. It's difficult to concentrate, I think, these days. So, yeah, they're very light and bright and easy to read and thoroughly enjoyable.
The DVD and CD
Yes,
with
the
my
DVDs.
boys.
That's the Live in London
Right,
ones.
live in London
Yeah.
with lots of the tracks that we've done here tonight.
Yeah.
All That Matters in the End. I sung that one there, and you've got some beautiful songs on there. Blessed Be Your Name, and I'd rather have Jesus, Still You Speak, that I sung the other day on the Now Hymns Project 1.
Now that's the one that's got "Oh Love That Will Not
Love
Let Me
That
Go
Will
on
Not
it."
Go.
And thank you for those of you who just commented on the fact that you love the new tune. I do as well, and a lot of people just love this album because it's got 6 songs that have just beautiful words, but perhaps the tunes have become a little bit sort of tunes that we've got used to. So Jonathan's written fabulous new singable tunes.
And people are singing them around the country.
They are.
This is great.
They are.
I think we did Life
Life
and
and
Soul
Soul last
that
week,
was
yeah.
King of Kings. And this is Hymns Project 2, which is the latest one.
Yes.
And people are going mad for this. They love to put this
Yes.
on. It's really, you put it in the background, put it out there, go and listen in while you're tanning yourself. I have got a little bit brown, haven't I? I've got, son, look at this. Look at my watch, look.
Oh dear.
I know, look at that, look. Can you see?
Yeah, I think they can.
They can.
Yeah,
That's
got
me.
it.
Anyway, so that we would really love you to get that one.
Have you got travelling songs there?
I haven't got travel.
It just occurs to me that I know that a lot of people really loved His Eyes on the Sparrow, and that's on Travelling Songs, so that is a beautiful album as well.
And finally, It Is Well, the one recorded in Nashville in Tennessee. Some beautiful stuff in there. Some great country music as well as The Prayer.
And Stars.
And It Is Well and Stars that you saw sung tonight. It is in that version, okay? That version. And so many small songs. I apologise for all the songs that we can't do. There's so many people that I want to mention, and each week we'll try and get to you. We didn't do so many...
We'll do it next week.
But we'll do
It's
it next
fine.
week.
We keep a record. I keep a running record, and I will know that we've not done certain ones. And just a few people have asked how you can donate, and that is fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah.
So for those of you who would like to give us something, that would be wonderful, and we would be very grateful. We have been very grateful for the generosity of people that have kept us going over these weeks.
Yeah.
So
without which
it would be more
that's it.
difficult.
We
We've been
don't
able
earn
to
any other
invest in
money.
a
This
bit
is it,
of
so it's lovely.
extra sort of equipment and so on to make it
Quick
easier for us
So
to.
it's lovely, and you
stream
don't
out
have
to
to
you.
give much.
No.
You just have to give a little. With all the people watching, if you just gave £1, then we could go to the Bahamas tomorrow. No, I'm joking. Okay, we're not going to the
Oddly.
Bahamas.
But if you
understand.
want
Just-
to know how to do it, there are 2 ways. One is that you can do it through paypal.me. And what I would say is, please be careful when you do this. It is paypal.me/Jonathan Veira, all one word. If you just put Jonathan in, it's going to go to another Jonathan in New York. So it would be really good if you could just check that you've got the right address. But if you would like to do it through a bank transfer, just private message me or make a note somewhere to message us, and we will give you our bank details, and we're quite happy to share those with you. So thank you very much. We are hugely indebted. And 25% of everything that you give, we give away again. So we pass that on, and this week we'll be passing it on to Rachel and her charity Young Minds.
we just we ask for your generosity. Reward her passion. Only a little amount, just a little amount from lots of people makes a huge amount to people's lives. This one is how great they are for.
But this is again for a number of people. This is for Janet Boffey. And also, this is from Andrew for his very long-suffering wife, Scylla, who has a big birthday next Saturday. It does end in a 0. She's 70 next birthday, and that's next Saturday. And he wished this one for her. And also, last week, Graham Scott and Dennis Compton both wanted it, so you have it this week instead.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hand hath made, I see the stars, I hear the mighty thunder, I pass throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Sing with me, say. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then shall I bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Sing it for me. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace.
Thank you. God bless you, and good night.